Hey everyone, and a huge, warm welcome back to the channel. It is so wonderful to have you here with me today. Before we dive into today's truly epic topic, I want to take a sincere moment to send my very best wishes to you and your loved ones. I genuinely hope you are feeling fantastic, full of energy, and in great health. Remember to take a deep breath and be kind to yourself. Now, let's turn our attention to the most dominant, powerful, and mysterious feature of our beautiful planet, a feature so vast that it literally defines our world from space. I'm talking about the ocean, the incredible blanket of blue that covers a staggering 71% of the Earth's surface. Think about that number for a second. 71%. That means if you were an alien visiting our planet for the first time, flying in from deep space, your first impression wouldn't be of cities or mountains or forests. It would be of a breathtaking, brilliant blue marble swirling with white clouds. You would rightly name our world ocean, not Earth. This single, connected body of water is the true heart of our planet, the engine that drives our weather, the source of most of the air we breathe, and the home to the greatest diversity of life we know of in the entire universe. And yet, for most of us living on land, the ocean is a distant presence, a vacation destination, or something we see on the horizon. We are the land-dwelling minority on a planet ruled by water, and understanding this simple fact changes how we see everything. To truly grasp the scale of this 71%, we need to do a little imagination exercise. Picture all of the landmasses you know, the continents of Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia. Now, imagine you could take all of that land, every single mountain, valley, desert, and city, and you could push it all together. Even with all that, the ocean would still have more than twice as much room to spread out. The Pacific Ocean alone is so enormous that it covers more area than all of that dry land combined. It is not just a body of water, it is a planetary scale feature. If you were to try and swim across it, even if you never slept and could swim constantly, it would take you years. Its sheer size is almost impossible for our human brains to comprehend, but it is this vastness that makes our life on land possible. But the ocean isn't just about surface area, it's about depth and volume. We live on the thin, dry crust of the planet, but beneath the waves lies a world of incredible depth. The average depth of the ocean is about 3,680 meters. That's over 2 miles deep. To put that in perspective, if you could drop Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on land, into the deepest part of the ocean, the Mariana Trench, its peak would still be more than 2,000 meters underwater. That means there are underwater canyons, mountains, and valleys that dwarf anything we have on the surface. This three-dimensional world has an immense volume, providing over 99% of the living space on Earth for organisms to live in. We are just scratching the surface of a world that is mostly dark, cold, and under immense pressure, a world that is far more alien to us than the surface of Mars. This aquatic realm is divided into several layers, each with its own unique conditions and strange forms of life. The top layer, where sunlight can penetrate, is called the epipelagic or sunlit zone. This is the part of the ocean we are most familiar with. It's where the water is warmest, where photosynthesis occurs thanks to tiny plants called phytoplankton, and where most of the fishing and ocean recreation happens. But below that, starting at around 200 meters, we enter the twilight zone. Here, the sunlight fades to a deep blue and then to black. The pressure builds and the temperatures drop. The creatures here have adapted to a life of perpetual gloom, many with huge eyes to capture any faint light and others that are completely blind. They are the masters of bioluminescence, creating their own light shows to attract prey, scare predators, or find a mate in the endless night. Deeper still, we enter the midnight zone, the abyssal zone, and finally the hadal zone, which includes the deepest trenches. Here, the water is near freezing, the pressure is crushing, and there is no light at all. For centuries, we believed this was a lifeless desert. How wrong we were. We now know these depths are teeming with life that has evolved in the most extreme conditions. Giant squid with eyes the size of dinner plates, ghostly white octopuses, worms that thrive in boiling water spewing from hydrothermal vents, and fish with bodies so fragile they would melt at the surface. These ecosystems don't rely on the sun for energy. Instead, they get their energy from the heat of the earth itself through a process called chemosynthesis, where bacteria convert chemicals like hydrogen sulfide into energy. This discovery fundamentally changed our understanding of where and how life can exist, not just on our planet, but potentially on others like Jupiter's moon Europa, which is thought to have a vast subsurface ocean. The ocean is also the great regulator of our planet. It is the reason our climate is stable enough for life to thrive. The ocean acts like a giant planetary battery, absorbing huge amounts of heat from the sun. Currents, like massive underwater rivers, circulate this warm water from the equator towards the poles and cold water from the poles back towards the equator. This constant mixing distributes heat around the globe, moderating temperatures and controlling our weather patterns. The Gulf Stream, for example, carries warm tropical water up the eastern coast of North America and across the Atlantic to Western Europe, which is why London has much milder winters than Newfoundland, which is at a similar latitude. Without this ocean-driven heat pump, large parts of the world would be uninhabitable. Perhaps even more importantly, the ocean is the true lungs of our planet. While we often thank the rainforests for producing oxygen, and they do contribute, it is the tiny, microscopic phytoplankton in the sunlit zone of the ocean that are the real champions. Through photosynthesis, these minuscule plants generate an estimated 50 to 80% of the oxygen in our atmosphere. Every second breath you take comes from the ocean. They are the foundation of the entire marine food web, eaten by tiny animals called zooplankton, which are in turn eaten by small fish, and so on all the way up to the great whales. This delicate balance, this incredible system that has worked for millions of years, is what allows us to live and breathe on dry land. Yet, despite its immense importance and size, the ocean is facing unprecedented challenges from human activity. Pollution, from plastic waste to chemical runoff, is poisoning marine life. Overfishing is depleting fish stocks faster than they can recover, collapsing entire ecosystems. And the most profound threat of all, climate change, is directly linked to the ocean. The ocean has been our greatest ally against climate change, having absorbed about 90% of the excess heat trapped by greenhouse gases and about 30% of the carbon dioxide we have released. But this has come at a terrible cost. The water is getting warmer, causing coral reefs, the rainforests of the sea, to bleach and die. The water is also becoming more acidic as it absorbs carbon dioxide, making it harder for creatures like clams, oysters, and corals to build their shells and skeletons. The very chemistry of the ocean is changing, and the consequences for all life on Earth are profound. So, when we say the ocean covers 71% of the Earth's surface, we are not just stating a fun fact. We are acknowledging the overwhelming dominance of the marine environment. We are recognizing that we are visitors on a water world. This fact is a call to awe, to humility, and to action. The ocean is not just a resource to be used, it is our planet's life support system. Its health is directly tied to our health, its future to our future. By protecting it, by understanding it better, and by respecting its immense power and fragility, we are ultimately protecting ourselves and all generations to come. It is the most incredible feature of our pale blue dot, and its story is the story of all of us. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.